Hello and welcome to Money Tips. This is Charles Kelly from Money Tips podcast and the author of the book, Yes, Money Can Buy You Happiness. And I'd like to talk today about the weekly news that's happened during the last week and just go through some of the important stories that have been going on. Starting with at the start of last week, we had the story really that Hong Kong has been trying to take over the London Stock Exchange, a bid that has been rejected, I think quite rightly so. That we can't have this sort of outfit controlling our London stock market. Now, last week we talked about earning a 25% tax-free bonus with the help of the government Help to Buy ISA, and if you want to take advantage of that, you have to get on board before the 30th of November. So just wanted to remind you of that. There is the government Help to Save scheme for the low paid, where they will also add a bonus to that, but that's only available to people if you're on a low income. Then we talked about this week how to earn 500% higher yields from your investments without necessarily taking high risks. And the stories there, you can find all these stories on the website moneytipsdaily.com. And we as low interest rates seem to be continuing for a while, and most people only earning maybe 1% on their accounts, and sometimes they've got money sitting around in the bank earning like 0.25%. And if you're earning 0.25%, it would take 40 years before your money's even doubled. So one way I've suggested here is how to earn up to 500% more on your annual income from your investments. Yes, there's going to be some risk, but not huge risk. And I'm not selling anything. Just go and have a look at that. You can find these episodes on iTunes or check them out on moneytipsdaily.com. But I'm just giving you a run through of what the stories we've already covered this week. But if you want to have a look at that, how you can earn 500% higher yields on investments without necessarily taking much more risk. I talked about angel funding, how angel funding is really taking off in London, and how many companies are coming to the UK. In this event I went to, there were German companies and Swiss companies coming over here to raise funds to come and start businesses here in the UK, because there is that atmosphere here of we can do things in the UK. It's easy to start up companies. There's money available from venture capitalists and angel funding investors. And the tax system here is favourable for investors. In fact, I was reading in the Sunday Times today that the former manager of the Formula One Benetton team said that he likes the tax treatment in London compared to Italy, where the Italian system, taxes people at 60-65%. Here he pays at something like, between 25 and 35%, and he can live with that. And that's why he likes the system in London. But there's definitely more money around chasing good ventures and good deals than there are good deals and ventures. I go to regular functions, and there's always a lot of good ideas, and there's always lots of money around. If you've got an idea and you don't know how to fund it, talk to us, because we can get you in touch with angel investors who can put the idea on the map, get the funding behind it, get some expertise behind it. A bit like Dragon's Den, but this is not for entertainment. It's not something where people take the mickey out of the guests and sort of ridicule them and say this idea is a load of rubbish. I'm not going to put my children's inheritance into this money. What are they doing there if they don't want to invest in anything? So and it's amazing how businesses that haven't even traded yet can attract millions of dollars, pounds, euros. One of the businesses there was a pharmaceutical company developing a drug. They haven't made a penny yet, but they've had millions of euros put into them, and they're now looking for 15 million euros to take the product further and get it through the regulators and onto the market. Then they'll probably be taken over. Okay, markets have settled after a turbulent couple of weeks. The market's settled. The China-Trump trade war seems to be settling down. Both China and Trump have sort of held back on some of the immediate tariffs. So, they've kind of called each other's bluff, and now they're saying, all right, let's see your cards and I'll show you my cards, rather than I'll raise you and I'll see you. So there you go. That's good news, and I think that's why the markets have settled down a bit. But gold and silver have still been going up. in recent, the recent few weeks and few months, and that means that people are a little bit nervous and they're putting the money into things like gold and silver, which is always seen as a safe haven. I covered an episode on the 3 myths of property investment, because people say to me, look, I want to get into property, I don't know how to do it, I don't know how to start, I don't know which strategy to choose. Should I go for residential or commercial, single lets or HMOs? Should I do rent to rent, or should I go in for serviced accommodation? There's all sorts of strategies. So I've covered those in the 3 myths of property investments. One of the myths I'll tell you is, you need a lot of your own money to invest in property. That's just not true. So have a look at that episode. And also this week, the European Central Bank, ECB, cut their interest rates, and the Federal Reserve are looking to do the same. So it looks like they're all trying to stimulate their economies, because Germany is going into recession. Spain and Italy, I think, have always been in recession, haven't they? Has there ever been a time when they're not in recession? Sorry about that to Spanish viewers on Facebook Live. But no, their economy has always been a little bit of a problem. And so that's happening. The UK is doing okay. Manufacturing output is down to sort of 0, but things are sort of ticking along at the moment. But I don't think the worst of it is over, and I think there's still some fallout from the last, financial crisis. And yesterday I covered an episode on how to get bursaries and assisted places for private schools. If you have a child or grandchild or nephew, niece, whatever, and you'd like to get them into a private school but think it's too expensive, you can't do it, then look at that episode, because we give you some tips on how to get bursaries, which are basically like assisted places where they'll pay your school fees. And even schools like Eton and Westminster give millions of pounds out in bursaries to help children from poorer families. It does take a bit of work on your part to do all the research, but imagine if you get a child into Eton, where the boarding fees are £42,000 a year. So I mean, that's after tax income. You've got to earn before that maybe 60 or 70,000 before you be left with £40,000, and then you wouldn't have any money left anyway. So it's an incredible amount of money. But they do give bursaries away, part scholarships as well, scholarships. So there's all sorts of ways you can use these. And I use this system for my own son, and my sister used it for her 2 children. It's there. And something like £1 billion a year is given away in bursaries for UK children who may not be able to afford the private school system, and it is a very, very good school system. Your child will really benefit from that. Last week we gave you 10 tips to get out of consumer debt using my manage debt system, and I suggest you go back and have a look at that. If you're in debt and you want to clear your debts, I'll give you 10 tips there. So have a look at those. They're on iTunes, Stitcher, but also on the website moneytipsdaily.com, where we cover all the episodes, and there's a blog there as well. So if you need the notes from the episode, it's all there as well. So thanks for listening again, and we'll be back tomorrow with a new word of the day and some new episodes next week. So thanks for listening, and have a great Sunday if there's any Sunday left for you wherever you are in the world. Thanks for people who came on board on Facebook Live, and thanks for my listeners on iTunes and Stitcher. Have a great Sunday. Bye for now.